What's going on, everybody? It's the Mouth of the South here, and today we're going to talk about Joker. Now, I'm probably a bit late to this, and there's probably a million reactions and reviews about this film already, but to hell with it. Saw the film. I'm a massive Joker fan, as you can tell. I collect all the comics, watched every thing the Joker's been in, whether it's been an animated series, the old Adam West series, films, games. If Joker's in it, I'm there. And Joker was a film that I was... Well, first off, let's talk about the character. The character is so iconic. He's been done so many times. In my opinion, Heath Ledger's incarnation was the absolute best, closely followed by Hamill. Then, from there, I'd say Nicholson, Cesar Romero, and then Leto. I'm not going to do all the different voice actors who did him in the animated series. I tend to just go with Hamill for that because he was the main one, really. So, when I first heard that they were doing a Joker film, like a solo film, I was quite excited. And then when I saw Joaquin Phoenix's Joker makeup for the first time, not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed. I didn't like the red eyebrows, and I didn't like the kind of blue jester markings. Normally the Joker's got either just all white or some form of black around his eyes. And the kind of blue jester makeup that he kind of had, wasn't a fan of, but over time it really grew on me. And when I saw it in the trailers, there were so many moments in both trailers that just made me think that this film is going to be absolutely amazing. And having seen the film, it did not disappoint. Now I'm going to keep this as spoiler free. I'm not going to be a dick and stick loads of spoilers out on the internet and go, oh, this happened and this happened, because what's the point? Just go watch the fucking film. And that's the point. So this film came out October 4th. This, I believe, is going out the same day it's being uploaded, which is October 10th. So I'm about a week late to actually getting around and seeing this film. And at the end of the viewing, there were still people applauding. I'm not joking. We was in, like, definitely not the most popular cinema in my area. And it was still a pretty packed theatre. And people still were whooping and applauding at the end of the film. And when I first heard that when the film got its premiere and people did a 6 to 8 minute standing ovation at the end of the film, I struggled to believe it. I thought, that's just, the press trying to hype it up. Like, I'm sure it did get a bit of a standing ovation, but not 6 to 8 minutes. Now I've seen it, I fully believe it. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts. The film is fantastic. And Joaquin Phoenix was the perfect casting for this film. He makes Arthur Fleck and his version of the Joker so believable. In my opinion, it's like the most realistic Joker. Like, you could quite easily put this Joker in our world and you'd 100% believe it. If you read a news article about the events that happened in this film from like the 80s or whenever this film was set, I think it was set like... No, I don't want to say when it's set because I don't want to sound like a dick. But it was set in an earlier time period. And you could read up an article about it, and like I said, you totally believe it. You would believe that this man went through what he did, started what he did. And there are so many different nuances that he brings to the character. And there are so many shots from the trailer that I thought were going to be in different places. So obviously I can talk about shots that are in the trailer. And where they were in the film, because it doesn't give away too much. But obviously when the Joker's got his full makeup on, you'd imagine that'd be later on in the film. You'd imagine that Arthur Fleck gradually goes into it. But the film opens with him in his Joker makeup. However, he's not quite the Joker yet. Like, he is still Arthur Fleck. His progression into that role is astounding. I don't want to be the type of guy who does, like, puts this film up on a pedestal or puts this Joker up on a pedestal. But I would rate him just below or at least on par with Heath Ledger's Joker. And I know that's a bold statement to make because Heath Ledger's version of the Joker was so iconic. And obviously he won an Oscar because of it. And it's made somewhat even more memorable given that he gave his life literally to the role. But I think you can't deny facts. And the fact is that this Joker will go down the same way Heath Ledger's did. It will go down as an iconic Joker. First off, the fact that the first actor and incarnation we had to play the Joker after the most iconic performance ever in Heath Ledger to Jared Leto and his tatted up, like, undercut, oh, I'm so edgy, I've got a grill, purring at people. Nah. It was bad. The film Suicide Squad didn't give us much of that Joker, so we could even make a decent comparison. But at the same time, we saw enough of it to know that, or a lot of people thought, nah, this ain't for me. And I think DC have even realised that because in the brought out Birds of Prey, that's completely gotten rid of the Joker. The new James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, I'm 90% sure that doesn't have Jared Leto's Joker in it either. And it's not going to have Joaquin Phoenix's Joker in it either. This is done in a completely separate universe, which I believe Robert Pattinson's Batman movie is in as well. Like, when that comes out. Still very iffy on Robert Pattinson as Batman, but we'll wait and see. Because, as I said, my first opinions of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker was a bit But in my opinion, the Joker is summed up in one line from one of the most iconic Joker comics, and obviously I read more than outside this, so don't shoehorn me as a basic white bitch who just reads the most basic comics. But in The Killing Joke, there is one phrase which I think can define sanity and can define the Joker more than anything. All it takes is one bad day. And in this film, I reckon that they take the all it takes is one bad day scheme and they expand on it so much. And you're left with so many questions after the film. You're left questioning yourself once you've finished this film. And also, as it's Mental Health Day, which is, first off, I think is bullshit. World Mental Health Day is bullshit. Mental health is a problem year round. There should be more, like, it should just be recognised and respected all year round. Like, I get that it's celebrating it and, like, making people feel like it's okay to talk out about it. They should feel like that all year round. I don't think dedicating one day out of the year and making a special deal about it one day of the year makes that much of a difference. If you're going to really make people want to feel like having mental health issues is okay, then you need to have that ideology all year round. Anyways, this film does so well at portraying someone with mental health issues. And there is a line in the trailer which you can read in Arthur Fleck's notebook. And it says, and I'm trying to get the quote as correct as possible here. It says, "The worst thing about having a mental health problem is people expect you to behave as if you don't. And I think nowadays that is so true. And I really think that sums up a lot about Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. A lot of what his character does throughout the film and what he believes and what he goes through is summed up in that quote. And the people he interacts with, like, the casting was amazing, the music was phenomenal. Again, not going to go into it too much because I don't want to spoil anything. There is one specific violin riff, like, or ostinato, I think you'd say, and it's played repeatedly throughout the film. And I don't mean like it's played once or twice. It is played a lot throughout the film in establishing shots, when Joker's doing stuff, if there's something else happening. It happens a lot. At no point does hearing that violin track get boring. Excuse me. Not at all. It adds so much. Every time I heard it, it made me feel sad, but it's also eerie and creepy, and it feels like something is creeping up on you. And I think they really do that to musically portray mental health, because it's played in a minor key and it obviously invokes a depressed feeling. And the fact that it repeats over and over again, and the fact that it also sounds like it's creeping up on you, I think that sums up mental health perfectly. Because mental health issues, they don't just go away. It's not just played once and forgotten about. It happens over and over again. And it is always that same mood, that same feeling, and it's always creeping up on you. It is always in the back of your head. And there are so many things in this film that summarize that perfectly and that portray that perfectly. And I really think this film, so many people will be able to relate to it. Like, I suffer with anxiety, and little things like Arthur tapping his leg, like shaking his leg up and down. I do it all the time. And just that little thing instantly made me relate to him and his character. And I know he's such an awful character in the film. He does awful things. But still, you find yourself able to relate to him. And I think that's good, because you relate to someone with problems. And the thing is, Arthur Fleck, he's a man crying out at the world for help, and no one is listening. That's not a spoiler, he says that in the trailer. You don't listen, do you? Each week you ask the same questions. How's my job? Are you having negative thoughts? You don't understand. All I have are negative thoughts. Let's get into briefly things Joaquin Phoenix does as the Joker that make him amazing. First off, the makeup and the outfit is amazing. It's something out of the box. It's new, it's different, it's things we've not seen before. It strays away from the traditional purple and green outfit colour scheme, whilst keeping it colourful and interesting and clownish, I'd say. Which makes sense, because Joker is the Clown Prince of Gotham. Also, still has the green hair, the white face, the red smile, but adds his own things with his own clown makeup. And in the movie, the reason for the clown makeup makes so much sense, and they've done that so perfectly. It's amazing. There are little things, so like when he dances, like his little hand actions and his emotions, and the way he slightly will flick his wrist, or the way he will go from staring at the ground to looking up at someone. He will do something with his eyes that makes you draw attention to him, or like he'll move his lip slightly to almost like sneer at someone, and it puts you on edge all the time. He plays the character so much like something is off with him, and he does that so much. There are so many little nuances that he does that are off kilter and not right. And I think that summarizes perfectly his Joker. There is something not right about him, there is something off kilter, something is wrong. And he is trying to portray that through his words, through his actions, through his movements, but still no one is listening. And what he does during the film to make people listen, or to try to get people to listen, it's perfect. Without a doubt, the best film I've seen this year. One of the best Joker films ever. It's up there with The Dark Knight. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is up there with Heath Ledger's Joker. And I'm not trying to speak ill of Heath Ledger. He is my favourite actor, period. And obviously, I love his Joker. And I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I'm trying to give Joaquin Phoenix that same credit. Because when someone does something so good, you have to recognize it. When someone does something so amazing, you shouldn't take it away from them. You should put him up on this pedestal to show the world how good he is. And he does fully deserve all the praise he's getting, and so does this film. The director is brilliant. Everything about this film is amazing. I would give it a solid 10 out of 10. Solid. Because in my eyes, it's a perfect film. At no point whilst watching the film did I go, oh, they shouldn't have done that. Or, oh, this could have been done better. I really think this is a perfect film. And I know when I rewatch it, I will still love it just as much, and I will pick up on more little things that they have dotted throughout the film to make it as good as it is. And in my opinion, I think the film deserves Oscars. It really does. Especially Joaquin Phoenix. He has done something with this character that's not been done since Heath Ledger. And that, I think, is the main point to take away. This is gonna be an iconic movie. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is gonna be viewed as an iconic Joker, and it's gonna be up there with Heath Ledger's. And I reckon it deserves its spot. There's been talks of a sequel already. There's been talks of Joaquin Phoenix being in the Robert Pattinson Batman movie. I think it has to happen. I think they should milk this for all it's worth. But do it to the standard they've set, because they have set the bar high. If they keep doing stuff like this, they are going to be on par with Marvel very soon. They're going to be two completely separate universes, but they will be on a level pegging. Because at the moment, Marvel's way ahead. Yes, DC have had good films. Aquaman was alright. Shazam was pretty good. Birds of Prey looks like it will be decent. But none of those are quite on par with Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War, Spider-Man Far From Home, the original Iron Man. I could go on. But this Joker film, this is raising the bar and setting the bar high. Not both for future DC films, not just for future Marvel films, for superhero films. This isn't a superhero film, but it is at the same time. And it's amazing how they've molded such a gritty film with a gritty, evil comic character. It's a comic book film, but it isn't. It's a look at mental health and modern society. And I think it deserves all the praise it's getting. It's a phenomenal film. I'd recommend anyone to go see this film. It's amazing. Joaquin Phoenix is amazing. The man deserves an Oscar. Give it to him. Right. If you've made it this long, first off, thank you. That's 20 minutes I've stolen out of your day. So, thanks very much. If you've made it this far, why not drop a subscribe, and yeah, then you'll catch all my annoying, boring other videos that I'll upload to this channel. Alright, thanks very much. I'm out.